If you are new to this channel and enjoy the content that you see, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to be alerted and notified whenever a brand new video is posted onto this channel, along with following me on these social media platforms to stay connected with me at all times. Also, feel free to check out all of your favorite videos and playlists located down in the description box below. Thank you so much for your continued support. Now let's begin. The rival to the alpha known as Godzilla has finally arrived in the brand new Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer number 2. What is going on, guys? Welcome to the official Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer breakdown review, where today we're going to be analyzing, dissecting, and breaking down the events of the recent trailer to gain a better understanding as to what is to be expected in the upcoming Godzilla 2019 movie. So I hope you guys sit back and enjoy. We had so many things in this trailer featured that if you're a Godzilla fan, you would immediately recognize how beautiful this movie is, especially in comparison to the previous legendary Godzilla movie in 2014. So let's not waste any more time. If, of course, you guys are new to this channel, punch that subscribe button, turn on all notifications, and here we go. Now, from the very beginning, I'm telling you all right now that Mothra, Ghidorah, Godzilla, and Rodan are not going to be the only kaiju that we see in this movie. Now, in the beginning, it's made painfully clear that we are going to see a very destructive kind of scenario take place within the city, around the surroundings of inhabitants, wherever they may happen to live, such as cities and whatnot. So early on in the beginning of this trailer, we come to the understanding that this character here is trying to reach out to anyone out there who's willing to listen. Now, what's cool about this is that I do believe that this shot here kind of foreshadows aquatic animals having to come about. For example, aquatic kaiju. It was basically foreshadowed on the Godzilla website that we discovered the Loch Ness Monster, and there were all types of sea dragons and stuff, so there could be a, kaiju that dwell within the water other than Godzilla that exists. So early on in the beginning of this trailer, I want to go on ahead and point something out to you real quick. So we have Rodan basically flying up ahead, which isn't anything new per se, but a really cool shot of this is seeing what it's like, first person inside of one of these jets, and we see how Ghidorah is basically, and this is all Ghidorah is doing, Ghidorah is causing lots of seismic activity, lots of geostorms to occur, and we can tell based on the environment that we see before us. So this is going to be a very, very destructive movie, which I cannot wait for. So this scene here basically depicts the end of mankind, especially when Ghidorah reawakens. Now, as we go forward in this trailer, we come to the understanding that one of the characters catches on to a noise. I'm only assuming here that this noise is caused by one of the kaijus that's causing her ears to pop, even though I don't feel as if this is relevant to the story. It could be, but either way, I want to go on ahead and tackle other things here. So as we progress forward, we come to the understanding that Rodan is finally rising from the volcano, and this is a pretty cool thing. This is indefinitely going to be Rodan, which I really cannot wait to see in all its glory, how Rodan just bursts out of this volcano and having to come about. But like I said before, I don't think that Rodan, Mothra, Ghidorah, and Godzilla are going to be the only creatures in this movie, because as we go forward in the trailer, we saw Rodan basically emerge from the volcano. But then what in the world is this? I think, in my opinion, if this is not Mothra, which I don't think it is, and I'll show you guys why, if this is not Mothra, and if Rodan is basically emerging from the volcano, and if Ghidorah is somewhere in Antarctica and Godzilla somewhere out in the ocean, then who in the world is this? So this is pretty interesting. We see claws, we see this creature bursting out from the ground, and again, I do want to say that this is possibly going to be Mothra, but I really, in my own opinion, do not believe that this is Mothra at all. This could be an unidentified Muto creature that they haven't discovered, or this could be one of the old school Toho monsters that we saw back like in the 40s and 50s and 60s and whatnot. So again, as we go forward here, we see this thing emerging, and it has claws, it has multiple legs from what it looks like, and to me, whatever this creature appears to be, I don't think it's Mothra at all. So as we progress in the trailer, we see a bunch of characters get together. Everyone's basically trying to figure out what in the world is going on. They're speaking about these titans. Now again, this is Ghidorah. He seems to be locked away in an ice sheet, or maybe as another means of being kept away, but either way, that Ghidorah is not what's seen you know, bursting out of the ground, as you guys just saw. And as we progress forward, I really enjoy how they come before the committee, they come before the UN, assumingly, and they begin to talk about how Godzilla needs to be reinsured. We need to figure out which creatures are here to defend us and which creatures are here to basically destroy us. Now, as we progress in the trailer, I love how Rodan is combating the military, because Rodan is huge. He's absolutely monstrous, and I'm really curious as to how he's going to be killed off in this movie, because obviously this movie is going to be a setup for King Kong versus Godzilla sometime in 2020, 2021. So Rodan, he just looks like he's just going through all of the planes, all of the jets, and if you look below him, I think this is the scene where he just emerges from the volcano, and all of these choppers, all of these, you know, jets, all of these fighter planes are basically, I think, taking note of what's going on as this creature is rising. So again, if we look at this is most interesting because we have a creature emerge from the ground, and again, I don't think this is Godzilla, I don't think this is Mothra, I think this is something else. And whatever this is, it looks big. I think if it's not an unidentified Muto, then it has to be one of the old school, you know, Toho monsters that they probably got a hold of. Maybe they acquired the rights for it and they, you know, they want to add it in as a homage. But I think that this creature is a creature that we haven't seen in the trailer before. Now, as we progress forward, we come to the understanding that here, they seem to be diving underneath the water just as a means, probably just to see where Godzilla is as a result. There's destruction everywhere. Now here, as you guys can see, this is Godzilla. So I think Godzilla is definitely in the water. It's not a creature that we saw, you know, rising from the ground, which I think is pretty cool. Now here we have, this right here is Mothra. Now again, if you look at the setting, Mothra doesn't look as large as the creature shown bursting out from the ground. So again, keep note of that. We are going to be discussing this on the channel in the next couple of days, so make sure you guys punch that subscribe button because we have lots to talk about here. So Mothra, we see it in its larva form. It looks like it's about to evolve any time now, so in which case it does. As you guys can see here, Mothra begins to evolve, spreading its wings, and then we have Rodan spreading his wings, destroying the entire city just by flying overhead. So you can see, based on how fast this thing is going, that it's destroying everything it comes across. People are flying about, and as we dive deeper into this trailer, we have a creature's foot having to step down on the terrain, and this creature is none other than the legendary Ghidorah. We can tell based on his spikes, his head, and look at him. He is absolutely massive, even though I expected him to be a tad bit bigger in this movie, and you'll see exactly why by the end of this. We see Ghidorah in all his glory. I think he just burst out of the chamber or out of the ice sheet that he was locked in, so I'm only assuming here that this is the moment where he escapes or he is set free. But either way, as we see Ghidorah emerge, that's when, you know, Congress and the people over at the UN are laughing at the idea of having Godzilla as a, quote, pet. So these people are severely underestimating the concept of what these creatures are, what they could do. And I love how, you know, Sarazawa here, I believe his name is, he talks about how, you know, we're not going to keep Godzilla as a pet, you know, Godzilla is going to have us as a pet. And that's when the trailer really picks up. Now, I don't know who this individual is, but we see Godzilla here, and Godzilla, you know, he has his eye open. I'm not really sure as to what exactly is going on here. I don't know if this is the end of the movie. I don't know if this is as a means of Godzilla being hurt, but he's on the floor. He looks like he's injured. Either that or he's resting, his eyes open, he's looking at the human, and I really enjoy how the dynamic behind this movie seems to be a lot more intense than how we saw in the previous movie. Now, we see Godzilla in the water. This is a shot in the water. Godzilla looks like he not only reawakens, but he uses his energy to zip right by the humans, maybe as a means of an instinct. Maybe he realizes that the other kaiju are now awakened, and now Godzilla is out there trying to, you know, stop them or defeat them or whatnot. And now as we carry on here, we have our first shot of King Ghidorah in all his glory, and he looks vicious. He looks incredibly vicious. And as this fight carries on, now I'm not sure who this is. I'm fairly certain that this is probably going to be Ghidorah coming down from the heavens. I don't see this being anybody else. I don't really see it being Rodan, but it looks like a heavy mass coming down from the sky, and I can only assume here that this is going to be Ghidorah, maybe assumingly grabbing Godzilla, you know, and just having to slam him down into the ground. I have no idea, but something's coming down from the heavens, and it looks massive. Now, as we progress even more, we see here Rodan's claws. Rodan's claws, I'm assuming that these are Rodan's claws. Rodan's claws are about to grab onto the jet, and do you not know how scary this is? I'm not really sure how fast, you know, these jets are made to go, but this creature is so fast that it's literally about to latch onto the jet. That's pretty cool. Now, we have Mothra. Mothra doesn't really look that big, but it really looks beautiful. I mean, I think Mothra, she looks great. I think that Mothra, at some given point, she is strong, but I think that she is going to perish in this fight. And then we have Godzilla and King Ghidorah standing off here. Now, this is really, really cool. Now, you can tell the size difference between the two. I want to see if I can get a good shot of the lightning here. Now, you can tell that Godzilla's pretty big, but King Ghidorah is even bigger, especially with its wingspans. This thing looks absolutely gargantuous, and I'm really, really curious how Godzilla is gonna pull out of this one, because for Godzilla to fight Kong, something has to give for this to, you know, make sense. So I think that looking at this shot alone is beautiful because they're standing off with each other. Now, we have Godzilla here. He has like this really nasty facial expression. He looks pissed, which I've always enjoyed a pissed off Godzilla. And as we carry on forward even more, we have these destructive blasts caused by King Ghidorah, and this is one of them. As King Ghidorah lets out a blast, we see how everything is basically annihilated as a result. Then we have Mothra here, I'm assuming using either paralysis or doing something that's going to cause her opponents to basically feel the after effects of her power. I'm not sure how much they're going to beef up Mothra in this movie, but you can rest assured that, you know, looking at these frames, she is going to bring the firepower. Now, as we progress forward here, we can see a tail, we see lots of debris, and I really do believe that Godzilla is going to be at the end of his rope in this movie, because he's not only fighting one kaiju, he's fighting multiple kaijus. Now, as we can see here, it looks like there is something happening at one of the stations. I'm only assuming this is Ghidorah bursting out, and all the military people are trying to fight back against it, but it doesn't seem to be working here. Now, we have Rodan being shot at by the military, you know, missiles and all, and nothing seems to be working. So that's a pretty cool thing. But look at this. Rodan begins to spin around in like this whirlwind-like motion, and it's just taking out everybody in sight, which I think is pretty cool. So do not sleep on Rodan, because Rodan's going to be bringing something special in this movie. So as Rodan does this, by the end of the film, we have our final shot. Godzilla acknowledges King Ghidorah, and he begins to charge on in. Look at this. Godzilla is charging on in, as is King Ghidorah. And as King Ghidorah and Godzilla charge on in, look at this shot. We see how by the very end, Godzilla grabs on to both of the other heads, but then we have the other head, the third head, get a hold of Godzilla. So as you guys can see here, it looks like one of Ghidorah's heads bites onto Godzilla's arms. The other one, he looks like he grabbed by the face, but the third one, it looks like it's going to begin to chomp down at Godzilla. But it's not just Godzilla and Ghidorah going at it. If you guys go back over here and you check this out, you can see the military. They're just firing off shots, man. Like, there's a fleet of fighter jets, B-2 bombers. They're all out there, and I'm not really sure what city they're fighting in, but whatever city this is, I would be on top of a roof somewhere recording this, because this is a moment in history. Because as these two collide, I'm only assuming that this is going to be maybe the final fight between the two, and I'm not really sure as to who's gonna walk away as the winner, because really you can't really decide as to who's gonna do what, or you know, what the end result might be. But I'm only assuming here that this is going to be the last fight of the movie before, of course, we dive into Kong versus Godzilla in the future. So either way, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys expect to see in this movie? What are your thoughts on Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, Godzilla versus Rodan, you know, Mothra having to be there? What are your thoughts on a possible, you know, new inclusion of a kaiju? I want to get your thoughts and theories down below. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once more, if of course you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn on all notifications, tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace!